Well, it is time, my friends. It's time to trash Mage. And a lot of people hate Priest, but I think Priest is, well, also pretty cringe, so we're gonna test it. We're gonna put it side by side, because you need comparisons when you're talking about cringe. You can't just, like, show things in a vacuum and you wouldn't understand how cringe Mage was for such a long time. And still is. So, potentially it's, the stupidest class that ever existed. Like, I mean, even this card is stupid, apparently. Holy shit, man. Alright, so, let's just dive into Wilds, and page by page we're gonna be turning and reading the nonsense that Mage has collected over the years. But before we dive into that shit, I mean, you gotta appreciate, the passion is rolling out. Technically for Hearthstone, but again, I would be playing Elder Scrolls Legends any time of day, because it's just a better card game. Alright? I just have to remind people. It's a strictly better card game. But it's not being updated, and it's not being updated to the point where my Windows is not compatible with it anymore. So I don't know. I'm scared, man. But people are writing books at me, bro. Whoever this is writing books at me. This guy is even telling me his win rate and stuff. Apparently he knows that. He knows strategies, guys. Holy shit. Those cards be existing, and you have to deal with it. I mean, when you play Hearthstone, you have to deal with a lot of things. Mage exists, for example. Absolutely. If you lose everything in one AoE. I mean, honestly, it's actually something I've never thought about, you know. Also, calling it AoE is just cancer, alright? My board disappears, bro. Area of effect? Area of effect can be anything. You know, right now I hear a screaming child. That's area of effect of him screaming. So, like, I don't think this applies to Borklers by default. Yeah, this guy is telling me the AoE strategy, basically. Things have to have 4 health, alright? If they don't have that, you probably lose. How convenient. Don't worry, bro. AoEs are gonna do 4 damage soon enough. No big deal. But I will not give myself brain damage, and I will continue calling them Borklers. And there's a book about, there's a book of Enoch with 15 chapters. Bro. Or whatever. 16 chapters. Except that I don't know if I want to read the Medivh chapter. But yeah. Stop playing, please. There's so many card games that I have tried, and they suck balls even more. Alright? So, I love that point. 10 out of 10 for the 10. Point number 10. So you can see we're all passionate about my channel, apparently. All of a sudden, I am popping up on people's feeds. Look, I have quadrupled my stats than the usual. And all it takes is just put a face on a thumbnail. And technically, make even better thumbnails. I literally haven't changed my content. Okay, I did chip away some experience for myself. You know, I'm supposed to be a better person every single time I wake up. That's just an obligation. But that's fine. Look at this shit. 2,400 minutes in Friday. Bro, celebrate Christmas. Do something else than play Hearthstone. I don't have anything to celebrate. I'm an antisocial, you know, creature. Or also known as European. So No big deal. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and celebration is just something that people talk about, you know? It's not something that people actually celebrate successfully, I don't think. It has to be still proven that Christmas exists, or human beings even exist. But enough about me, you know. So, this, technically... No, we're not doing that shit. We're not crafting a mage deck. What is wrong with my brain? I really want to craft things and stuff, but... We're just gonna look into the cards, and we're gonna try and find cringe of mage. Mage and priest. But you must understand, this is cringe. Okay? I can't stress this enough. Down there, there's cringe on both sides. And yes, I woke up and I'm like, Elder Scrolls Legends, and haven't completed my quests. I don't care about Hearthstone. First of all, Hearthstone now basically has the most cards ever. And I sunk in a lot of experience into this game. But now we're going to talk about Mage. We're going to talk about the most frustrating class of all time. But let's briefly take a look at everything else. Death Knight, yeah, it's OP, it's annoying at the Tavern Brawl. It is what it is. And Blood DK is the most disgusting thing that basically simulates Mage as well, except it also resets the game while playing one Borkler. Which is kind of fucking stupid. When you play a Borkler, maybe don't just reset the game, maybe reset the game with some other card, okay? Like, offset a little bit. I'm specifically talking about Blood Boil, obviously, every single time. But it's just kind of cringe. Though they also get, like, Hollow Hound and other cringe cards that make no sense, man. And I don't want them to exist. But hey, it's fine, guys. I mean, it's just another reason to have 4 health creatures all across your board, and if you have at least one of them that's weaker, you're screwed. Or he could just buff the Hollow Hounds, you know, like a normal person. They're buffs, they're hand buffs in Death Knight. So I don't actually like Death Knight, but, you know, it haven't overstayed its welcome, at least. But, you know, like, we have 11 classes. One of them could just be deleted, and I would just raise my hand and say, Mage. Alright, this is my input, and I think people think I'm smart. So, I'll just talk about it very quickly. Like, the first deck that Mage existed with is Freeze Mage. And that's all you need to know. You already know that Mage is fucking cancer of the universe. Bro, whatever Priest was doing, I don't care. And yes, it doubles its health and crushes you with a stupid inner fire or whatever style. Priest is also absolute cringe and could also be deleted just as easily. I will jump on board if we're deleting 2 classes instead of 1. But if you want to pitch, you want to ask me a question of like who to delete, I'll say Mage, bro. Anytime. Because the style of Mage is always absolute nonsense. And it's also very dominant too. Very dominant class. You do start with Mage, but that's not supposed to be sentimental in any way. And yes, a dude has been preparing, you know. But I get random cards. Yeah, I think that's a rogue thing, to get random cards. I think Mage doesn't even have an identity besides casting spells, and casting spells is not a very good identity, unfortunately. That's why they need random cards to cast even more spells. Oh, wow! That's fucking dumb. Spells is not interactive part of the game. Like, come up with something better than this shit. It's unbelievable. So, for a very long time, like, Druid is my favorite class right now. Hunter is pretty okay. I don't necessarily like aggression, but I can deal with it. And they usually were not being able to deal with the board. Now they can. So I do hate Hunter a little bit recently, that they get some fucking easy Borklers, star power. And it's all in the name of like, oh, we're gonna secretly sneak in Borklers by making this like dual class thing. I mean, why? Why do you do that? How do you come up with that shit, man? Oh my god. They sneaked in 2 Borklers. And they're fucking premium, bro. They're insane. They're being played left and right. In fact, Hollow Hound is like just game reset to the point where I have a screenshot like this. It seems like a normal day in a park, right? But the next card that my opponent played, he's hovering right now onto the board, resets the game, puts him from 14 to, 30 health, clears most of the board. He finishes the board with a weapon, and now we're back to normal, except he has more cards because he just did so many things with one card. Hollow Hound. That's how it makes me feel. That's not the card description. Is just how you make your opponents feel when you play this card. You make them feel hollow. Like, well, nothing happened. We play the game and like nothing happened this whole time. I just lost cards. Like, come on, man. Like, control decks usually don't just like reset the game. Yes, warrior gets armor sometimes. There's a little bit of healing here and there, but lifesteal is a new thing, and it's another thing that should just disappear. Alright? Alongside Mage. I would just like put it in a package of like, well, take lifesteal 2, Mage. Alright? You'll need it where you're going. Holy shit, man. Because you have no life, obviously. So yeah, recently Hunter is becoming more and more toxic. In fact, it is getting toxic to the point where I'm like, shit, man, this is not acceptable. Just the 1-drop alone, summoning worms. This is not a worm. You call this a fucking worm, bro? This is this is Destroyer of Worlds, bro. Holy shit, man. You don't get this reaction from a worm. Holy shit. If this was Terraria, I would be like, well, I guess I lost. My hardcore days are over. Game over, bro. It's insane what you can do in the first few turns. And now Hunter not only has this superpower of clearing the board, but it also has the superpower of filling the board and using mana extremely efficiently. Extreme efficiency. And yeah. Hunter is definitely on a list of like bottom toxic classes. And now Paladin also overstaying its welcome. Absolutely, Divine Shield is a very weird mechanic where you have to change your deck just because Paladin is dominating, and you have to like do pings and stuff more often. Consider that shit. But at the same time, I'm not too upset. Again, it's just the recent additions, the recent type of Hearthstone is something I just can't stand because they print out cards that they don't get contested, they don't get nerfed. The auras are insane. One of them resets the game, one of them just wins the game, I have to concede instantly, I see this card, it's over. Like, it's unbelievable, man. What these guys are doing with the game. Whoever is in charge of the game, he has brain damage to extreme extent and thinks that he's gonna earn money from that brain damage. Like, it's insane what's going on in this game all of a sudden. So Paladin Identity is like, it was completely fine until Librams showed up, until Skullman's Academy, and then we started seeing absolute cancer. I still like the like Murloc Paladin thing, and that's it. That's the last thing I've remembered that was like decent. Whatever. People complain about this card and I'm like, nah, bro. Nah, relax. There's a thing called right next to it, you know, and then right next to that still, you know, like, these cards are insane. And apparently, like, Consecration going from 4 to 3 is completely normal and doesn't feel like anything, and it's not even playable at this format. Like, how do you do that? How do you go from a card that has been played forever to a card that had to be 25% boosted and still doesn't see any play? Like, how do you go from that position? The game has changed so much, but we're still printing out 3-4 3-4s and pretending that it's just like, well, it's casual stat line, but it has to do +3/+3 on the board. You know, sneak that in. It's unbelievable, man. How the game has changed to the point, like, I don't know how to play it anymore. I don't know what works anymore. A lot of cards act like pitfalls. You put it in the deck and you actually make it worse. Make it a lot worse because you have to play all the broken cards instead of inventing something new. So deck building has taken such a toll right now where I don't feel sanity anymore. Like last year, I was building the aggro/tempo druids where I can actually beat other aggro druids in a mirror, and I went legend with it. I celebrate that thing. Like, legend for the first time. I built a deck that, like, I enjoyed and I played it for long enough to reach legend. And now, I don't even know what I would want to play anymore. I just want to make videos and rant about Hearthstone rather than just fucking play it. The vibe changed completely, bro. When things just get out of control constantly, like, at some point you just break. Like, why should I bother with this bullshit that people do to each other, right? But it does kind of reflect real life. Like, it feels like bullshit is all over the place, and we should not forget about it. The reflection on real life parallel with the game. You can't just get sucked in, get your soul sucked by the game when it's not exactly enjoyable. The enjoyable part is complaining about it. You must understand. That's why I'm not playing other card games, because I can still complain about this one and steal its content and put it in my card game instead of... that's the girl stuff, guys. And then that's still not good enough. We need a lawsuit. And now we have all the cards. So I keep stealing Hearthstone cards and ideas and all that shit. It's my starting point, obviously. We're not done. We're gonna steal everything from everyone. If they have a good idea, we're just gonna take it from them. Because I deserve it too. I'm a game developer and I am neglected and I don't get any income anyways. Because I'm not Reynad. Alright, I can't just hide in the shadows and pretend that I'm building a card game, bro. Priest is actually fine for me. I play Priest right now. Recently, it's fine. The only thing that you have to take away is, you know, the machine gun of constant Borklers that Priest emits. You take that toy away from them, and then they have to suck it up, you know. Also, the Undead Priest is also kind of cringe, upgrading hero power this fast. You literally go back to the days of, you know, Gen and Baku. Welcome back to Witchwood, boys. Oh, you only have shadow spells. Let me give you a little boosty boost. It's kind of cringe, but whatever. I'll take it. I can still beat Shadow Priest fairly consistently. And die fairly consistently from it. But at least he plays minions. Unlike some classes, you know, unlike some classes that we're going to talk about very soon, that don't even care about playing minions. Even, again, Priest cares about playing minions. Yeah, when you give Priests too many Borklers, then they become control priests, and then it makes no fucking sense at all. But for Priest identity to make sense, you just take away Borklers. That means the identity itself is sort of fine. If you take away stuff from Mage identity, what do you take away, first of all? because everything is garbage. It's all just spells and shitty minions, basically. There's nothing to it. It's literally a hollow class that has nothing to offer, just like some spell damage bullshit. Like, we're gonna talk about it and you're gonna fucking bleed from your brain. You know, your brain has to reform itself to keep sanity alive, bro. Intact. I mean, holy crap. Obviously, Rogue is a little bit cringe with all the combo stuff and Edwin stuff, but it's actually a very, very cool class because it doesn't have Borklers. It has to reinvent itself constantly. And I think it has a pretty solid identity. Thief packages don't necessarily work, but they made it work with, you know, Tess. Which is, again, sometimes when you make things work, that means the thing we're playing is absolutely broken. So I don't appreciate Tess. It should just get out. But that's the eternal identity of Rogue, and right now it's not that bad. And Wishing Well is kind of cute card as well to rant about. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool, I'll take it. Shaman was my favorite class for a very long time. Like, you have Evolve nonsense. Totems are kind of cool back in the day. You summon totems with, like, the Witch and stuff. The ODK stuff, the Overload, is also kind of cool. Back in the day, the OTK was just a Bloodlust. It's not really OTK. I don't think if Shaman gotten worse, it just gotten worse than Druid, because I stopped playing Shaman, I guess. If I continue playing Shaman, maybe I would like it again. It does have Borklers, though, so it's a weird class to identify. Also, what the fuck is this, bro? Yeah, I don't know. It's a really weird one. It also has Wind Fury, which is a very cute effect, but kind of faded out of relevancy. I mean, we do have Mega Wind Fury now in Standard, so that's something. It's just like a very weird identity. I don't understand what Shaman is supposed to be doing anymore. What it's supposed to be playing. It has a little bit of Murlocs as well, a little bit of totems, a little bit of nature spells. Like, there's no like solid thing that like I would enjoy, but it's definitely a cool class. And Warlock probably is top 3 most hateable classes. Zoo Warlock was also kind of cringe. The identity, and then you have Handlock, which is also pretty fucking cringe to see everyone play Handlock a bunch of times and summon a giant on turn 4 or whatever. It's just like, I mean, you get tired of that. Handlock was like good for a very long time, then it evolved into Reno Warlock, and oh boy, and then it evolved into even more cringe. It keeps evolving into worse and worse decks. We have curses, we had imps, and I hate all of that shit, bro. Imps were such a fast tempo deck, I couldn't keep up with it. I was constantly complaining of how, like, ridiculous the stat bomb is of just summoning a 4-drop that's actually a 9/9, you know, and now it's just normalized, you know. Well, it's just now normal, it's a part of the game, it's just the Warlock identity to summon a 9/9 for 4 mana. Just clear with a Borkler, bro. Like, what is that identity? What the fuck do you mean? How do we get here so fast? And, but it just keeps going, and now we have Sludge Warlock, which is exactly the same bullshit where you just die when they dump their hands of stupid cards. So we went from Curses to Sludge, and yeah. Probably second most hated class for me, personally. And also, again, identity of just self-damaging garbage cards. Like, most of Warlock cards are unplayable. You play in Tavern Brawl and you're like, I don't want Warlock cards, please, okay? You just cross your fingers, just don't give me Warlock cards. Alright? Whatever is going on in Tavern Brawl, just not Warlock, please. And you don't play Warlock in Tavern Brawl because it's the worst class, usually. Unless you want to give your opponent Warlock cards somehow. Then it's the best class, bro. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, it's such a weird, shitty class that has broken material that warps around like a black hole. And the worst thing, the worst offender of the universe is obviously Twisting Nether. Because fuck this card, it enabled other twisting effects of all kinds. Because when you start, you can't fucking stop. Now Sargeras is a Twisting Nether. Now Twisting Nether is basically every other Borkler that can just clear everything. You know, it evolved into Doom very quickly. I'm like, please stop printing Twisting Nethers. Like, it doesn't literally doesn't matter how many stats I have anymore. It doesn't even matter if I summon a 30-30 a couple of times, you know. Like, none of that shit matters. You just play one card and it disappears. Like, come on, bro. You can't fucking do that. And so, Warlock has inspired the worst Borkler, the most terrible cards imaginable. Demons, to say the least. I don't want to see that. OTKs that just, you know, over time, they don't have to do anything. They just curse you with a bunch of shit. I don't like this. Alright? We're probably gonna talk about Warlock at some point. And the most disgusting thing about this video is one person in particular. And I hate to bring it up, but he loves Mage, and he loves Warlock. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? He puts Mage or Jaina on a thumbnail every now and then. Is the most common character, basically. Right now you don't see it, but it's probably more common in the recent times. But you can see Jaina, blah, blah, blah. It just keeps repeating itself. And even though he likes Warlock, he doesn't actually, like, shove it down your throat. It just reminds you every now and then. I don't know why. I don't know what's likable about Warlock, to be honest. The only likable card that ever existed in the Warlock arsenal, like, ever. Portal, bro. I wanted to make this card work so badly. You know, you learn that, oh, a 3-drop is going to turn into a 1-drop, and it's like, wow, I can take advantage of that. I can summon this and a couple of 3-drops, and technically I wasted 6 mana. But I also have Portal that also has to be removed from the board. I mean, I love this card. This is the best fucking design of all time. To just have something on board that also still collects value over time. And technically Warlock also had another Portal creature, Blood Imp. Also collects value over time, just super cute card. And this identity went nowhere, basically. Nowhere, just dead on arrival. Dead on the first few steps. I used those cards for as long as they existed. I wanted that shit to work, but they lost their identity and it turned into garbage. It's fucking imps. Like, now I want imps back. Now I want imps to be a thing. Simply because, like, at least that deck makes sense. You know? But Curse and Sludge Warlock and Control Warlock, that shit makes no sense whatsoever. What the fuck's going on the board? Summoning Thaddeus for free, basically? Like, come on, man. Like, please stop this bullshit. You can sort of fight back against Warlock. It's not a big deal, but it's absolute cringe class. And then you have Warrior, which actually is pretty cool past the part where it's Pirate Warrior, but and now Odin Warrior. Basically, it goes up and down. Sometimes it has a good deck, sometimes it has a bad deck. It just keeps going up and down. It depends. If it tries to play aggro or control, it's probably pretty bad. If it tries to play tempo, I'll take it, man. I'll take it into my mouth, bro. If you're playing fucking Taunt Warrior, I'll take it. If you're playing some kind of Rift Warrior or whatever, I'll take that. Bomb Warrior, I'll take that. Like any tempo thing that is not guaranteed to just obliterate you and have 6 Borklers in their hands, or you know, kill you on turn 7. I'll take one of those. Thank you very much. So they're in between, just bouncing around, trying to find their play style, and often enough, it's cringe, between cringe and actually appreciable stuff. And now we have this. I do have to like remind you guys that, like previous episode, this card that we had, Flipper Friends, it's not a very old card. It's literally last year, the start of the last year. And now we power creep the shit out of it to insanity, because now +1 mana. I mean, we have to go all the way now, bro. This is absolute insane power creep. This is actually 15 points of stats if you max it out. 15. Plus it synergizes with itself. So it's pretty crazy. Flipper Friends is just 6. And it's very strictly 6 points of tempo. So we go, and it's still a playable card in a way, because you need pings on the board. So we go from 6 to 15 with +1 mana. I mean, you can see the power creep, and it like baffles you how much one card is better than the other card. Like 2 times. 2 times. This is the cards that you are doomed to play. There's no escape, my friends. You have to play these cards. I'm telling you, that's how the deck design dies on arrival. Like you just have to play certain cards. You have to wrap your head around of how, well, I have to squeeze this card into my 6 mana slot. There's no escape, bro. It's a fire spell. Maybe I can do fire synergy. It's so stupid. It was already a good card at turn at 7. It's already rivaling basically Scales of Onyxia, which is 14 points of tempo. And not even guaranteed, because you have to summon 7 scales. You have to have an empty board. This is 5. This is even more efficient than the fucking summoning 6 things, because, well, it's less likely to summon 6 things than 5. And you can see the vibe of the game is absolute insanity now. It's unplayable game. I don't want to play it anymore. I just want to look at how disgusting it is in every single expansion, just to review it and watch other people play this disgusting game with their disgusting strategies and just lose their reputations in a way. I'll take that. I'll gobble it up, bro. So for the next 30 minutes, we're gonna actually talk about Mage and Priest. But I need to give you guys a recap of what we're working with here. What I like and don't like. You can tell the difference here. So again, I have to make a reminder. We're comparing a class that people want to delete for some reason, right? Even though just Borklers are problematic. Like, what else are you gonna delete about Priest? Removals, Borklers, that sort of stuff feels cringe, right? They have to be redesigned a little bit. But we're gonna compare it with the class that people don't really complain about, but like, holy shit, man. Why shouldn't we? Literally took a break, talked to our friends, found this. I mean, Christmas vibe is everywhere, it seems. There's a screaming child, of course, still. But you know what is not Christmas vibe? Freezing to death. That's fucking bullshit, man. Going to church, maybe, but freezing to death? No thank you, bro. And technically, now you can feel the vibe of what's going on. Nobody likes winter season. This is the most terrifying class of all time, bro. But freeze, as weird as it is, but like, it's actually a pretty powerful mechanic. to this day is just not being used commonly. Like, you just summon a giant minion, and all of a sudden, even though Mage cannot beat the giant minion, it can still freeze it consistently, and you have to use it as such, as a freeze the giant minions, because that's your only weakness. And if you know how to negate your only weakness, it is pretty cringe, right? It's the only weakness. You can generate infinite amount of cards, you can generate armor, you can keep direct damaging your opponent's shit. The other impossible weakness to beat for Mage is to actually have minions that do things. Like actual tempo. Like, these are tiny. But Mana Worm happens to be the most toxic cringe thing. I'll have to give 3 points for how disgusting it is. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's carefully analyze what the hell is going on. Because again, we're generating so much armor with this little one drop. It basically is the new Mana Worm, right? It's the new version of Mana Worm. It's very difficult to actually evaluate how powerful this is without, like, actual math. But it just seems like it's ridiculous. It's also an elemental, so it has to synergize with things. Like, it's such a versatile one drop that you have to put in every single Mage deck. And you know that's pretty fucking bad if that happens. But they created stuff like that. So now you have armor. Congratulations. A lot of these cards, like this one actually pissed me off so much. Freezing 3 minions for 0 mana. That's disgusting, basically. I mean, at least 2 points of cringe. This is weird. Weird stuff. We don't talk about that shit. How old are these? Gadgets on, okay. So it evolved quite a bit. If not 3 times. But it is random enemies, so it's not the worst thing. But the problem is, it doesn't specify, but you cannot freeze a frozen minion. It will always target a new, not frozen thing. Meaning that it has to freeze. It cannot just stack the freeze or anything. Freeze mechanic in general is a little bit cringe. Like, the mechanic itself is cringe. Why? Well, the bigger a minion, the easier it is to freeze and get a bonus out of it. In real life, would it actually be easy to freeze a big minion? I really don't think so. It should be like a temporary attack debuff or whatever, and could be used more commonly, but like, freezing giant minions. What, am I gonna freeze a dragon mid-air and he's just gonna fall down and fucking shatter into pieces? Of course he will, because that's the other synergy of, like, destroying frozen minions. Fuck yeah, bro. That's the next step. You have Brain Freeze too. Now, Paveling Book, I'm not gonna worry about that. It's not that cringe. This is cringe that it, like, had to be nerfed somehow, and the nerf was kind of fucking weird. Like, it already is bizarre. I don't understand what the problem with this card is, to be honest. 3 damage is a lot for 1 mana, but, like, it doesn't change the game in any way. That's not the problem card, clearly. And it's, like, fucking doing this shit. Obviously, it's a much bigger problem with Hearthstone right now. Them trying to, like, circumvent the damage, not nerfing the legendaries themselves, but then they cave in anyways. Same happened with the Naga thing, right? We had the 3 mana Naga, not this one. And we kept trying, potentially even like 2 nerfs happened around it. Where the fuck is it, man? The legendary one. With 1 attack. Are you kidding me right now? I might I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah, Lady Esthino, basically. What happened? Like, there were like 2 cards nerfed. Some Naga synergy that goes to 0 mana. Maybe even this thing got nerfed. Like, some bullshit got nerfed around it, but not the card itself, until they caved in and eventually nerfed the card itself. So Civ Mage technically has to be nerfed. Similarly to, like, Sardan Athreus. you wouldn't feel like there was stuff being nerfed around it, but they waited for a very long time until, oh, I guess it is a problem card, you know, but we really wanted to the vibe of just killing your opponent with one shot. So they just wait for a very long time for some reason, and you still get the dust refund, apparently. Which is so bizarre for me. To even encounter cards like that. And, well, we got that vibe out of this one. Cool enough. This one's a little bit weird, but I'm okay with that. It's very disgusting what Mage can do in Arena. And apparently even the hero power was bad enough. Because it's one of the best hero powers where you don't take damage. That's the whole thing. That's the whole idea of mages not taking damage. And I'm like, what? Just like, what? Just surviving for long enough and doing whatever in the end of the game. That's the identity. And it just sucks so bad. Like, why would you extend the game for so long? What's the point? It's literally distancing yourself from the game itself. You don't want to actually play the game. It's pathetic. The Priest is doing something very, very similar in that sense. Was Evocation nerfed to 2 mana? I mean, I believe it was. I'll give it 2 points of cringe. It is a pretty crazy card that has been abused, I believe, in many ways. Other than that, I don't like devolving missiles. It's kind of like a weird one. It's way too cheap. Devolve is a disgusting effect. And now Mage had it for a while. This one is a little bit cringe and I don't like it. So far so good. I tend not to dislike discover effects or generating effects. There was the Spell Mage moment. And I mean, it's a little bit cringe that it's just pure spells. Why the fuck is that a thing? Why do we lean so much into that shit? And obviously, my most hated thing of all time is secrets. It's like, I don't even know how to play the game anymore when the secret shows up on the board. I can't. Like, if I fail to play against the secret, I lose. Like a 7-drop, an entire turn is just deleted from my ability to play the game. Like, just poof, you know? I can lose my win condition. Like, nobody fucking liked secrets, and everyone hated the fucking ice block as well. Where you can just ice block into ice block into ice block. It's just such a nightmare. But it's just the identity of Mage that made it happen in the first place. And then you look at everything else, it's fine. It's completely fine. It's like, I understand. The Waygate is obviously the super ultra giga cringe. 10 points. I don't even want to fucking talk about Bruno at this point. Mage Drake, whatever. Learn Draconic is actually quite a bit cringe, especially in Arena. It's a really powerful card back in the day. Because you just spend 1 mana. You just plug it in, you know, and grab the dragon. 1 mana. It still would be probably playable, pretty much, for the rest of existence of Hearthstone, maybe. But right now, Mage already has the fucking dragon thing recreated even more efficiently. Where you just equip a fucking weapon, a keyboard. It's like fucking triple ultra cringe. We're just like looking at 1-drops. And we're gonna complete the journey of 1-drops and then we're gonna switch to Priest. We're just looking at one. It's already like fucking bleeding my eyes out. Is that, like, people actually complain about this. I don't know how this feels because I skipped a year of existence. But, like, plus 3 spell damage does seem like one of those weird fucking win conditions that not supposed to exist in Mage. So you just survive and then you smash me with your spell damage fucking bullshit? Is that your win condition? Sounds pretty stupid to me. And then this one is, like, super fine. I don't think anyone complained about this shit. it's infinite value, but like, it's just a cool hero power. What's wrong? It's completely random as well. You get a lot of shit with that. So, I'll take it anytime over the other ones. Anyways, yeah, the quest lines are pretty disgusting. This one is hard to execute, and by the time I was playing against it, it wasn't that big of a deal. You can't just activate a quest line that quickly. So, there's a chance for me to win, that's cool. Unless I am also playing a quest line, then fuck me, I guess. More Frost nonsense. This one's a bit cringe. This one was overplayed for sure. Ice Scott spell, whatever. Another one drop. But this one is like fine. This one I understand. It's actually kind of fun. Instead of gaining a bunch of armor. Wildfire, probably one of the biggest cringe one drops. If you exclude the legendary garbage. Like, just upgrading your hero power just like that for free. I mean, holy shit, man. That's bad enough. But the synergies that it had... Jesus Christ. It turned into a Borkler, basically. Now again, hero powers are not that strong, but... all you need is a little bit of help. And it kind of broke. It kind of broke me. Like, I complained about this shit for way too long. And every single time they have Wildfire on one, it's just dead end at that point. I just give up on life. This is fine. Completely fine. I guess Ancient Mysteries is a little bit too common for secret synergy. You pull those fucking ice blocks, of course. That's all you care about. I'm not gonna blame other secret things if you just playing purely secret package. You're probably playing a pretty shitty deck that people can learn to play around. But it was pretty dominant. Even in wild. Or maybe especially in wild, I don't know. Prime was kind of super cringe. Now it started introducing spells that only target enemies. Oh boy, that was disgusting. Everyone played this card as well. How long till we finish all the 2 drops? Yeah, will take a while, guys. This whole journey. We'll need to extend the series to 2 parts. So let's just taste of Priest and finish this. So now we switch to Priest. Alright, we got 53 points of cringe playing against Mage. Yet not many people complain about this stuff. But plenty of people actually also playing Mage. Back in the day, like, there's some pockets when people play Priest, but it's not a very common thing, and it's also like the unicorn thing, right? The unicorn meme that, like, Priest sometimes is very, very bad and unplayable. So, let's check. Circle of Healing, super cool card. I actually even want to fucking, like, reduce. Some of the Priest memes are so cool, so interesting. Back in the day, I would play Priest like crazy, bro. But Mage was always cringe forever. Ever and ever, bro. It didn't do anything to the board. And if you're doing nothing on the board, like, what is your identity even? What am I supposed to interact with? Trying to hit you and it's like, oh, oops, you can't actually attack me. Dodging all the fucking attacks in all win conditions. Oh, I'm dodging this thing and that thing. Oh, unless you have a fucking 10 mana weapon, you cannot actually kill me. Ha ha. What a fucking bullshit nonsense. You know? Priest is completely normal. The meme of deleting Priest is just disgusting to me. It doesn't even have that many zero spells. Well, it does have a few. Topsy-Turvy is a little bit cringe, I have to agree. Maybe the quest is overplayed, but I liked it, to be honest. This is kind of very simple one. This is fine. This is very, very fine. I even like this quite a bit, the flavor of it. And yes, I will reduce points. For Mage, not so much, because I don't give a fuck about the class whatsoever, or any card they have. Like, there's probably not a single meme card of Mage that, like, I appreciate. Not a single thing. Like, there's not... Like, not only they have terrible identities, but there's nothing to do with Mage. The only thing I did is just like, oh look, I have a thick Mage, 50 points of armor. That's it, bro. Maybe you can play Mech Mage. Apparently that's a thing that had to be revived because that's the only fucking fun part about Mage. Isn't that crazy? It's unbelievable. And it is, you know, fuel to the fire of like, even my little fan playing around, just sucking up and throwing trash at Mage full speed because it definitely deserves it. You know, random. I mean, Casino Mage. It's a thing. It's a thing for drug addicts at this point. This is cool. This is fine. Raise Dead, a little bit cringe, but I mean, it's okay. It's okay, bro. Okay, we passed 0 cost. Enemy dead. Fine. Automaton, a little bit cringe. I don't like the idea of keep summoning the same thing and it gets stronger and stuff. But it's a quite kind of a challenge, I guess. Resetting the game, definitely cringe. I don't like the Reno effect that's even like stronger than that. I didn't feel like it was breaking the game, but it probably was. Drawing infinite amount of cards is kind of weird. Maybe not as cringe as we would think, but it's a weird one. Because it started with the cleric and stuff. Maybe it's fine. I don't recognize much here. They do actually have 2 locations. Most classes only have 1. Which is kind of interesting why that's the case. The second location is card draw. It's very, very efficient in that sense. Very powerful options to choose from. But I do appreciate locations. The silence idea is a little bit cringe. I mean, holy crap. They tried so hard to prove that silence is somehow like very relevant, especially when you silence your own minions. Yeah, this went nowhere at all, and it kind of is no longer a thing anymore. There is one like spell 4-drop that copies and silences, but nobody cares about that shit at all. Silence a minion, then give it +3 attack. This is a cute card, though. Silence is a good idea that should be a part of the game. Freeze, on the other hand, is kind of stupid. The funny thing is, Priest and Mage had a baby, where if you type in freeze, you're gonna get this 2-drop. It silences and freezes. It's literally a baby. Except you can see which one was preferred first. You know, Mage is preferred first and Silence second. Fucking garbage, bro. But then actually Priest is first once it appears on the card. It's a very tricky one. It's a cool baby, I'm not gonna lie. You did a good job with that one. And since Priest is a dude, I should probably give him extra point for that. Funnel cake, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. I actually love the flavor and all that shit. flavor and the pun of the flavor and blah. Everything's fine here. This dormant creature is cool. Because I love dormant creatures. As long as they're not fucking wild seeds or hunter. We just keep pumping dormant creatures. Then, like, well, you have the good stats on the board, and you keep pumping more good stats on the board. Just never-ending assault. But when you just have a few cute ones, then that's cool. Cleric, still super cool card. Apparently we got this shit. Scaled up, bro. Potion of Menace. All these things are super cool. Like, I don't understand what to complain about Priest here. Except for Inner Fire, maybe. And still... God damn it, I'm clicking the wrong thing. And still, it's a completely normal card in a sense. It's just the synergies of doubling health or whatever. Doing this constantly. It gets out of control for sure. This one was super duper cringe. Fucking Control Priest archetype. Can we not do that, please? And now, right now, like, it doesn't actually exist that prominently. But it's still a thing. It still resets the game, so... We have Naga Priest now. They picked up a new disease. I guess I'll give one cringe. Because, yeah, back in the day, Naga Priest was actually fucking disgusting. Back in the day with the Radiant Elemental that they refused to fucking nerf. This one's absolute disgusting card. Because it almost works like a Borkler to most classes. But I'll take it. This one was even more disgusting than this. Holy shit, man. Not only clear for one, but the more minions they have, the more punish they get, bro. Holy shit. And if they have token minions, you just obliterate the shit out of them. And buff your creature. I hate that part. Holy crap. Priest is actually catching up. And it's pretty sad. Needle. Needle is absolute cringe because I hate Borklers, and apparently Priest has Borklers since turn 1. That is pissing me off. To the max, bro. Turn 1, they already like setting up Borklers. Like, can you just like wait a little bit? You know, just wait a few turns. This is absolute nightmare to me. I'll give it a 4. It's insane to kill anything with 1 mana. It's fine eventually, but like not really. Not really. Test subject apparently was the fucking disgusting thing that got obliterated. Just had to be obliterated. Because it gave you infinite value. Which is like, how the fuck... How the fuck it looks so bad now? Right? Is that normal? To shuffle back to your deck? But that was the just... Well, test subject and it failed. Clearly. What a fun thing. Probably people hate this card. I don't know how it feels like. Again, Stormwind is not my thing. But I'll give 2 points. Because it seems pretty disgusting as an aggro card. Bad vibes, bro. This is bad vibes too. Another technically Borkler. Oh boy. My priest is catching up, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? But you can see what's going on here. What's creating all this cringe nonsense. What about the other quests? I only saw it. Okay. This one and the 40 reset. Oh, no, we looked at all of them. Okay. Still, Borklers just keep on piling up. This one's a little bit overused at this point. I use it in every single priest deck that I do, because I want my memes faster. This one's also pretty fucking weird now that we have the thing back, basically. Or had this thing in standard for a while. Which is like Inner Fire, just for 2 mana, but even more efficient. Fucking weird, man. And yes, Borkler, but this one's like acceptable. This one I understand. Swap health of all minions. I'm okay with that. Absolutely. One of the most powerful cards in the game. Not gonna lie. Yeah, Divine Spirit. So we kind of tasted the equivalent, I believe. Maybe even less so. And Priest doesn't seem that toxic, but technically they're both at the same level. You know, I came in with the expectation that Priest is not going to do anything to me at all. But it seems to bring back some memories of Borkler being played every single imaginable turn. Turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Let's find all of these things. Why the fuck not? Turn 3, of course. Every single imaginable turn. That's their identity. That's part of their shit. And it fucking sucks, man. It's disgusting, bro. Turn 3, 3 Borklers. Let's go to turn 4. That was a Borkler. That was a very old one. Like, they just can't stop, bro. There's plenty of turn 4 Borklers. Holy shit. It's insane. It's insane, bro. Mass Dispel is trash in comparison. Bam, bam, bam. Just keep on printing that shit. Zyrella was fucking cancer. Holy shit, infinite value, bro. Might as well bounce it back to your hand, am I right? We didn't give them that idea. Turn 5. There's no Borkler turn 5, bro? Because this ain't counting. I ain't counting that one. Of course, Mass Hysteria, the most disgusting one. It's just, you can't escape. Every single turn you get a fucking Borkler in your face. Or game reset if you want. So, don't worry about it. I do hate Priest. Quite a bit. If they just keep on doing that. But it's still somewhat actually more interactive than Mage. Funny enough. Mage is just survives and kills your minions with spells. Whatever they do, whatever they want to do. With Priest, they played a Borkler, but they didn't do anything that turn. They just played a Borkler. That's cool. Alright? Maybe they healed themselves a little bit. But with Mage, bro, like, oh fucking hell. They don't do anything at all, ever. Ever, bro. And the only time they did something is like summon giants and like fucking kill you with freeze or the double turn. Just get out of here, bro. We're done here. I'm not happy. But this is apparently a battle of toxic shit that Hearthstone has kept pumping, because they can't stop, can they? You know, Hearthstone would feel completely different if we just took away the bad classes, right? We would experience a completely different game, I think. So, I'm just saying. Or classes that don't want to play the game. Like, if you clearly don't want to play the game, you just want to clear my board a bunch of times, and you want to just play spells, that's not gameplay, bro. If you want to just say secrets and freeze my big minions or whatever, like, I don't know, bro. If you just want to kill from hand, like with this shit, if that's your identity, maybe you just don't play Hearthstone, you know? Maybe it's not me that's supposed to stop playing Hearthstone. Maybe it's Mage and Priest, if you so like, because why not, bro? Again, for me, Priest has to go to jail. We have to confiscate all the Borklers, and it's all of a sudden cleansed, you know? we have to cleanse the priest, which is fucking ironic because it's a fucking priest. Clean yourself, little bitch. See you guys next time.